Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we're going to talk about Thursday Night Football. We've got the Broncos playing against the Raiders in Denver. It's going to be a challenging outing for the Raiders, but we're going to still look for the value to be had on Prizepicks and Underdog. Going to go over the slips I like for both of those platforms, as well as bonus plays at the end of the video. We're going to dive into the DFS optimizer from Daily Grind and look at all of the plays that are showing upside according to the optimizer for tonight. So let's talk about the plays. RJ Harvey is going to start us off on the Prizepicks slip. 7.5 fantasy score. We're going to be taking it for more. Brock Bowers, I just want these targets 8.5. I think he's going to have a solid night regardless, because he's just an absolute stud. Best tight end, probably the best tight end, let's be honest, in the NFL. But yeah, 8.5 targets. I like him for more. Tre Tucker, 43.5 receiving yards, taking that for more. And then Troy Franklin, 10.5 fantasy score for Prizepicks. For Underdog, we're going to start a new streak slip. We're going to keep it simple. Brock Bowers fantasy score, RJ Harvey fantasy score. We're going 12.85 is the line for Brock. This is half point PPR over on Underdog. And then RJ Harvey, we're going to go with the 6.5 fantasy score, which is kind of like the same benchmark as Prizepicks. It's just, equating for the half point PPR. If you guys haven't tried streaks yet, it's really cool. You start with 2 plays. You can mix and match. You don't have to just go football, but I'm starting with this tonight. And then if that cashes, you can either cash out or you can add 1 pick at a time and keep stacking up all the way to 11 picks and boost the multiplier as you go, all the way up to 1000x. Now, yeah, if you get to like 4 or 5, your multiplier is already going to be up, I think I had like a 5. I had one live that was at 5. I had 5 cashed, maybe 6 cashed, and it was at like 35x by that point. And then I made a stupid play and lost it. But you can cash out whenever you want. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, use code BACKDOOR. They're going to give you $100 in bonus funds when you play your first 5. And then they also have a really cool option called Ladders. So definitely check all that out. Ladders is my favorite. I just wasn't crazy about the options in the Ladders suite for this particular game. So I'm like, we're going to go streaks instead. But yeah, make sure it's available in your state and you should be good to go. Just use that code and you'll get your 100 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. We also have a Chalkboard, killer platform, a lot of fun. It's mobile only, and it's got this awesome interface. Like, it's just like, if you're into stuff like that, they really, the interface on this thing is awesome. It's just no lags, updates quickly, tons of alt lines, and they run specials every day. So like it's, Taco Tuesday, Flex Friday, every day over on Chalkboard, boosts, discounts, you name it. So use code BACKDOOR. They're going to give you a free pick to help you cash your first slip and 100% deposit match. So you can stack up your little bankroll portfolio on the Chalkboard platform. So yeah, let's talk about the game here now. If you guys don't mind, do me a favor and like the video. It just helps out a lot with the algorithm. So I appreciate the support. If you have questions, hit me in the comments and we can break down some plays together. All right, so yeah, we got a 42.5 point over under. I think we probably beat this over. I think it's going over that, but I get why it's at 42.5. Let's see the spread. Yeah, 9.5 to Denver. Yeah, it's going to be really tough. All they really essentially need to do is focus on Brock Bowers, Denver's defense, which still isn't an easy task, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. Hopefully the Raiders are able to make this game interesting, but I still like the upside for fantasy in this regardless, because the Broncos, while they're like doing well 7-2, they're actually they start pretty slow on offense. Bo Nix is like I think he's ranked like I think he's ranked almost at the bottom as far as like fantasy output in like the first quarter, first half. And then by the second half and the fourth quarter, he just goes nuts. So that could keep the game interesting. We'll see. Raiders are up against it tonight though. Weather, we don't really have anything to worry about. Clear skies. Just wanted to let you guys know the wind is not going to be a factor tonight, so we should be good to go there. All right, let's get into this play here. So Brock Bowers, the 8.5 targets. Every time he's played them, he's cleared this. This one is kind of easy to explain because it's Brock Bowers. He's going to get a bunch of targets. So just in case Denver is solid on, mitigating his production tonight, Geno's going to throw him the ball 9 times. That's my guess. If he doesn't, I don't know what they're doing, because unless Brock, if he can play the whole game and he's not dealing with anything, he's getting 9 targets. That's my opinion. As far as the matchup goes, Denver is 17th in targets allowed. So they're kind of middle of the road there. About 31.7 targets are what teams are averaging against Denver. Now, if you don't think 9 of those are going to be to Brock Bowers, I don't know what to tell you. Like, who else? Tre Tucker. We might see a little bit of Besh as well now that Jacoby's gone. But so head-to-head looks good. If we look at 2025, it's a little dicey. He's only cleared it once in this most recent game. Let's look at some of these matchups, though. We have New England, Chargers. So let's look at the actual totals of these games. So 20-13, Raiders actually won that game. 20-9. Not very involved against Washington, who's ranked 10th, and that was an absolute blowout, 41-24. So go with your gut if there's other plays you prefer. He did have technically a soft matchup when he went for 13 in this last outing, but he was just, my gosh, he had 3 touchdowns in that last game. Let's take a look here. Let's see what some other tight ends have done. So Jake Ferguson did not do anything in that last game. His line was at 7.5 and he only had 1 target. And then Theo Johnson, he beat his line. It was set at 5. He had 7 in that game. So with the targets, it's a little bit harder to go off of all the data and whatnot because it's just him throwing the ball, But if we take a look at fantasy score for Underdog, we're getting it at... I said like 1285 or something like that. He went for 37 and half point PPR, 37.3 in that last game. So things that could factor into him cashing his fantasy score are going to be stuff like touchdowns. So let's look at the matchup for touchdowns. They're a tough defense, 2nd in touchdowns allowed. 1.6 is what teams are averaging overall. And then to the tight end position, ranked 7th. So 0.3 touchdowns allowed. Let's see. He only has 1 in the 2 head-to-heads, but we know this is from last year, so he's looking like he's continuing to get better, in my opinion. Let's take a look down here. As far as red zone targets, how's he actually looking? Yeah, so he's the top target. Even with the time he's missed, he's still leading in targets as far as red zone looks. And then Ashton Genty is actually getting a decent amount of targets, which we know he's the running back. They'll have him just kind of run it in sometimes, but they're also trying to get Genty into the end zone through the air as well. And then Tre Tucker is the 3rd target. So Jacoby, even though he was there, he wasn't getting that many targets in the red zone. It's typically Brock or Genty. So let's look at they've done a pretty good job against tight ends, keeping them from scoring. Denver has, but some of these guys are just no-namers. So Dalton Schultz is the only one who's kind of like, somewhat, he's not like a stud, but, and then it's Harrison Bryant, Schoonmaker for the Cowboys, Jake Ferguson, he didn't get in. Theo Johnson got in, and Bellinger. So in that game against the Giants, they were able to get touchdowns with 2 different tight ends. So that's showing us a little bit of upside there. And then let's look at receiving yards matchup for tight ends. There's actually a little bit of a soft spot there to the tight end position. So they're ranked 10th overall in receiving yards allowed. 213.7 is what teams are putting up against Denver on average. And then when you go to the tight end position, they're actually ranked 17th. 53.6 receiving yards is what they're allowing on average. And we can see Dalton Schultz, even though he didn't get in the end zone, Dalton Schultz put up 77 yards against this defense. His line is at 29.5. Theo Johnson had 66 when his line was at 27.5. Jake Ferguson, like we said, he only got 1 target in that game, so he didn't do much. So maybe receiving yards is something you might want to be interested in. If they had the receiving yards option on ladders, I would have been more interested in making a ladders play, but they're not giving us Brock on ladders tonight, which is a bummer. All right, let's move on here. RJ Harvey. Okay, so fantasy score wise, he's got 5 touchdowns in his last 3 games. the matchup against Las Vegas is great. 22nd in touchdowns allowed, 3 touchdowns on average are what teams are putting up against them. And then when you look at the actual running back matchup, 25th is the rank, and then over 1 touchdown a game. Now we know that Harvey has been, getting a little bit more love as we get deeper into the season here. As far as usage wise, but he's more pass catching than he is just rushing the ball. But still, he's gotten in the end zone, like we said. Giants, to running backs, I guess they're ranked 27th, but we know that defense is decent. Dallas, ranked 31st, makes sense. He had 3 touchdowns in that game. And then Houston is an actual legit tough matchup, and he still got in the end zone. Now, what I'm thinking too is if this game does get a little bit out of hand, and I'm not saying guys are going to be getting benched, but I think that the back half of the game could be a lot more Harvey if this game is just kind of like Denver's up by like 20 and just running the clock. But yeah, he gets a lot of love through the air though. I think he's like capable as a runner personally, but they're utilizing him just with a lot of pass catching. Like he had 5 receptions against Houston for a running back. That's huge, especially they're ranked 3rd. So that was a tough matchup. Receptions allowed for Las Vegas, 24th, about 5 receptions a game just to running backs is what they're allowing. So yeah, and we got a lot of green here when we look at pass running backs as far as receptions go. Travis Etienne had 5. Let's see, Brashard Smith had 5. Tony Pollard beat his line, hit 2. Tajay Spears had 4. Jonathan Taylor had 3. So guys are hitting their receptions line against this defense. So we talked about touchdowns. Let's look at the rushing yards matchup real fast. Since we're taking the fantasy score, we want to just look at a little bit of everything. See what I'm saying, though, about his usage as a runner? Let's look at the attempts. Yeah, his biggest outing was against Dallas. He had 7 rush attempts. That's his biggest outing. Is that all of 2025? That's the last 5. Let's look at it overall. So his biggest outing on the season was against Cincinnati. He had 14 rush attempts. But other than that, it's that 7 most recently against Dallas. Averaging about 3.6 yards per carry. Nothing too crazy. Longest rush, he broke off a couple big ones, a 40-yarder and a 50-yarder. But yeah, and then when we come to the receiving yards, it looks a lot different. But so rushing yards matchup, 14th in rushing yards allowed to running backs, 86.5 rushing yards in general. Now we know J.K. Dobbins is kind of like the pure runner for them, and J.K. is averaging 55.6% of the rushing share, and then Harvey's only at 18.9. But I think that's going to continue to change a little bit. RJ Harvey's like barely above Bo Nix as far as rush attempts go. He's got 4 more than Bo does on the year. But yeah, matchup-wise, past players, we got Travis Etienne went for 84 yards. Tootin in the same game, 29 yards. Kareem Hunt did not beat his line, but Pacheco did in that game, 57. And then Tajay Spears went for 31. So, yeah, I just think people are kind of underestimating the kind of usage he's getting in the back half of these games. And then let's see here. I'm going to go to the receiving yards, and then we'll move on here. So yeah, the receiving yards look much better. Let's see on 2025 season. Yeah, his most recent outing against Houston, he had 51 receiving yards. His average yards per reception about 6.5 on the season. Let's see. Yeah, he had 5 targets, caught all 5 of them. This dude is a solid pass catcher. Yeah, he's got like what? So 2 like misses on his targets, 3 misses on the year. So yeah, the dude catches just about everything thrown his way. And then matchup wise, ranked 10th in receiving yards allowed to running backs. Let's see what some of these passed. So yeah, we got a lot of green as far as running backs hitting their receiving yards in this matchup. Etienne, Brashard Smith, a lot of these same names that were hitting their receptions were also hitting the receiving yards. So yeah, I like a lot of plays for Harvey tonight. If they had a receiving yards option for Harvey on ladders, I would have taken it, but they only had the rushing yards. All right, so let's move on here. Tre Tucker. Okay, so this one I think could be a little bit of a factor with Jacoby being gone, and then the attention is going to be on Brock Bowers tonight. So he's the clear wide receiver wise, probably the clear number one. We know that Brock is the number one, but as far as actual pure wide receivers, it's probably Tre Tucker. Let's see. So this is what was this? Okay, so this is 2025 without the one option we have in 2025 without Jacoby Myers. He had just 33 yards in that game. It was a tough matchup, though, against Kansas City. He had 6 targets and 5 receptions. If we look overall, when we're not just keeping Jacoby out of the equation, he's beat his receiving yards not a whole lot on the season. So this is really just an upside play of like me thinking like how many options does Geno have? If he, we could get into a little bit of Michael Mayer might get some work, but he's kind of like every now and again he'll be out there on the field with Brock Bowers at the same time, but it's kind of just like, relieving Brock a little bit here and there. So I don't think Mayer is going to be cutting into too much tonight. So I like Tre Tucker. His average yards per reception, about 13.1 on the season. And then if we look at the receptions versus targets, he's only had one game where he didn't have a good outing at 38% back here against the Chargers. But against Washington, he had 9 targets, caught 8 of them, 2 of 2, 4 of 6, 5 of 5, 5 of 6, and then 3 of 4. So he's pretty solid pass catcher. The matchup's tough. It's Denver, obviously. Ranked 6th to wide receivers, about 129 receiving yards in general. So it gets a little bit embellished when you think about like, well, are we counting Brock as a wide receiver or a tight end? Because he's definitely just like a hybrid of both. So now that Jacoby's gone, who was 4 wide receivers, the top target earner with 49 targets, Tre Tucker was right there next to him at 43, and then Brock Bowers at 40. So I think both of these guys, Tre Tucker and Brock Bowers, are going to benefit from Jacoby not being a part of this situation anymore. Let's see what wide receivers have done here. So Xavier Hutchinson beat his line in this matchup. Nico Collins went for 75. His line was at 59.5. Christian Kirk, same game, beat his line. CeeDee Lamb didn't beat his, but he went for 74 when it was set at 74.5. So he was right there on par, hitting what he was projected for. Jalen Tolbert. So yeah, guys are actually able to get some stuff going. And I think part of that's because Denver gets up and then teams are playing from behind. And so it's just sort of forcing passing plays, for the remainder of the game. But Pickens beat his line as well. So that's what I'm feeling for Tre Tucker. Now he was on the ladders. I almost made a ladder slip. I'll probably still throw one together for this game, but not feeling the huge upside to hit that 1000x that we try to aim for. All right, Troy Franklin. I like this play a lot because I think it also lends itself to the narrative of Denver being up by a lot. I think he'll get a lot more love. Like Courtland Sutton will kind of be the focus for the Raiders as far as wide receivers go. And then if they are leading by a decent amount, that's the types of games where Troy gets a lot more love. So yeah, we can see in this game against Houston, he only went for 8.3, but then he went for 26.9 against Dallas when that was a 44-24. So if it turns into something like this, if you think the Raiders are a better matchup against Denver than Dallas was, Dallas at least has like an explosive offense. The Raiders are just kind of a mess. So I think it could be something like this. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a 44-24 or that kind of discrepancy, between the teams point wise. But if we dive in a little bit more touchdowns wise, let's see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So last 5. So he has 3 touchdowns in his last 3 games total. He didn't have any against Houston, but he had 2 against Dallas. And then let's actually go to the receiving yards. Yeah, when they were up by a lot, he was getting a lot more love. Again, the game against Dallas where it was a blowout, he had 89 receiving yards when he hasn't cleared more than 35 outside of that. But the targets are kind of there. If you look at these last 3 games, he has 10 targets against the Giants, but he only pulled down 3 receptions, and then 8 targets for 6 receptions against Dallas in a soft matchup like he's got tonight. And then still 10 targets last week against Houston, pulled down 4 of them, but he's getting the targets. So there's a lot of potential here for him to to get this done. His receiving yards, his fantasy score. I'm taking the fantasy score just so we have the touchdowns attached too, since he's got a decent amount of touchdowns in his last couple of games. Matchup wise, to wide receivers, 4 touchdowns. The Raiders are ranked 23rd, 1.1 touchdowns allowed, just to wide receivers. Let's look at fantasy score again. We're going to come down here and see so Parker Washington, who's kind of like becoming the de facto number 1 for Jacksonville. Heartbreaking situation with BTJ, because BTJ was one of my cornerstones of my dynasty roster, and I think BTJ ultimately ends up getting traded and then bounces back and is awesome BTJ again. But for whatever reason, Liam Cohen, like the relationship there is just kind of weird. I thought it was going to be a match made in heaven. He came into the season, Liam's like talking about how the offense is going to run through Brian Thomas Jr. and stuff. But also I think the factor is Trevor Lawrence. I think Mac Jones, when he was making BTJ look like a world beater, it was because Mac Jones, I think, is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. But anyways, Parker Washington, he cleared his line. Rashee Rice cleared his line, went for 23.2. His line was set at 14.5. Hollywood Brown in the same game beat his line. So yeah, the matchup wise, the matchup's there, the narrative is there, and Troy Franklin is getting targets. Let's see what I had here. I was just taking a look at Ashton Jeanty at potentially for the ladders play. But yeah, Jeanty actually could be someone who has a decent night. If you wanted to look at the fantasy score here. Some of these matchups, a lot of these matchups where he's killing though are actually not bad matchups. Indianapolis, they're awesome, but it's not like teams can't do anything against them. And then when he's actually in a tougher matchup here against Kansas City, only went for 4.4. But yeah, 19.9 against Jacksonville last week. So if you guys were interested in Jeanty, that's another guy that I think you could take a look at. All right, let's get into some bonus plays here. If you guys are interested in getting the optimizer for yourself, use code BACKDOOR and they will give you 25% off for as long as you want to lock it in. We love it for football, but we really love it for basketball. It's an awesome tool for basketball, especially. And then if you guys want to try Outlier for free, there's a link below. Just sign up through the link and they're going to give you a week to check it out. All right, so for tonight's game, we're going to refresh real quick. I got this on Prizepicks at the moment. So they're like Geno Smith. These are all overs. Geno Smith, 13.5 fantasy score, a lot of juice, 57.34%. Brock Bowers receptions, 6. Yeah, it's cheaper on Prizepicks right now. It's at 6. It's at 6.5 virtually everywhere else. So you are getting a little bit of insurance there. If he just goes to 6 instead of losing, you get a push there. He's probably getting more than 6, but if he's getting, that's why I'm just like, give me the targets at 8.5, because then he doesn't have to catch everything, and that's not a huge discrepancy between 6 and 8.5. Ashton Jeanty receptions, they like him over 2.5, which makes sense because they're going to probably be playing from behind. Also a good pass catcher, 53.83% odds to hit the 2.5 receptions. Bo Nix rush yards, sure, maybe, but I'll tell you why I don't like this. I don't know that this is going to be the type of situation where they're in a point of desperation where he's needing to extend plays and different things like that. Yeah, sure, the pressure will be there. Max Crosby is definitely going to provide pressure that might lend to him needing to scramble more, but I'm just a little bit unsure. Yeah, Bo's capable of having like 60 yards in a game if he wants to. It's just, do they need to do that? Are they going to just be tearing him up through the air the whole time? We'll see, but 18.5 is low for Bo, so maybe that is solid. But the optimizer likes it, 53% odds to hit. It's at 20 just about everywhere else, so 18.5. Yeah, and if you're looking for a play with upside like demon style, this is a good type of play because he is capable of just popping off for 30, 40 yards, no problem. Riley Moss tackles plus assists, 4.5. They like it at 53% to go over. They like Bo Nix passing yards, 217.5. They're feeling good about it, 53%. Geno Smith rush attempts, 3 is pretty low. He's going to have to extend some plays here and there. 52.41% seems solid to me. Ashton Genty, receiving yards, I like it, 16.5, 52.37%. Geno Smith, pass completions, 19.5. Jack Besh, who we talked about, yeah, this is really low. 1 catch, 11.5 receiving yards. Yeah, that might be something worth taking a look at. It's at 11.5 on Prizepicks, 12.5 everywhere else, 13.5 on some of these platforms. But yeah, dude had a lot of upside and a lot of buzz coming into the league as a rookie, and just hasn't really been given opportunities much. But maybe he gets more involved now that Jacoby's gone. Geno Smith, pass attempts over 32. They like. Tre Tucker, receiving yards, 43.5. They like that. 52% odds to hit. We took that. Troy Franklin, 18.5 longest reception. Yeah, sure. Especially if he's getting 8 or 10 targets, one of those is probably going to go for 20 because he's capable of being more of a deep threat. 52%. RJ Harvey, rushing plus receiving. They like it over 41.5. Just under 52% odds to hit. Geno Smith, longest rush, 6.5. There's that RJ Harvey fantasy score. They like that, 51.63% odds to hit. Brock Bowers, longest reception, 20.5. And then Bo Nix, pass completions, over 21. They like it, 51.59. Let's go to Underdog real quick. All right, so here is what the optimizer is liking on Underdog for tonight's game. Don't forget, code BACKDOOR gets you 25% off your first purchase if you guys want this for yourself. But let's look at it. So we got Geno Smith. They like the fantasy score as well, 13.55 on Underdog, 57%. So a lot of juice on both platforms for Geno. J.K. Dobbins, this is something that we're not seeing. Interesting. So we're not seeing this on Prizepicks. I think it's at 16. It's at 15.5 on Underdog. And I think this could go either way. I don't think he's cleared this line in like 5 straight games, if I'm not mistaken. But because it's like, yeah, the narrative is there for JK to do it, but is it mostly Harvey in the back half? Does he get a 16 tonight? Maybe he does. The optimizer thinks so. So 15.5. They like it at a 53% odds to hit, minus 134. RJ Harvey, longest rush, 8.5. They like that, 52.67 on Underdog. Geno Smith, pass completions, and his rush yards. They like Geno's rush yards at 9.5. Yeah, I think I might like that better than the rush attempts at 3 because he could break that off in one run. 52.24% odds to hit the over on that. And then we got Brock Bowers, receiving yards, 66.5. Yeah, it's up at 70 on FanDuel, 70.5 on a few platforms. So 66.5 is a good deal. And I think that he gets his yards tonight. I'm wanting the targets. I just about everything. Just pick your favorite for Brock tonight, and he's probably cashing it. 52% to hit those 66.5 yards though. There's Harvey again, rush plus receiving yards, 41.5. I think it's the same line as on Prizepicks. Just under 52%. We got Bo Nix, pass yards, 219.5. They're liking. Geno Smith, longest rush. So if you're going to take the longest rush over 6.5, yeah, maybe. I don't know why you wouldn't just take the extra 3 yards and have the whole rush yards combined though. But who knows? Maybe he does just have one for like 7 yards. Tyler Lockett. I forgot that they got Lockett. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what he does. Because yeah, I mean, he knows, how Pete Carroll runs things. But I don't know. They like his longest reception over 11.5. It does seem low. I think Lockett probably does get a little bit of 11. We could end up seeing a situation here where they went and got Lockett, and Pete is just like, I'm going to put this guy in who I have a history with, who I can trust to make smart veteran decisions out here. So yeah, maybe Lockett ends up having a little bit of a resurgence with the Raiders. RJ Harvey, rushing yards over 21.5. They like 51.51%. But yeah, they like that longest reception. That does seem really low. If he catches the ball once, Lockett's probably hitting that 11.5. I do kind of like that. 51.57. Adam Troutman, 6.5 receiving yards total. Yeah, I like it too. 51.5%. Bo Nix, pass plus rush yards, 244.5, 51.37%. J.K. Dobbins, they like him to get in the end zone. So 1 touchdown, so over 0.5 touchdowns, 51.36%. on Underdog. Adam Troutman, longest reception, 5.5. Yeah, in this case, I'm definitely just taking the receiving yards. If you're taking Troutman, one extra yard. Again, watch him go for 6 on 1 catch after I say that. J.K. Dobbins, rushing plus receiving yards, 75.5, 51% odds to hit. R.J. Harvey fantasy score, that's good news for the streak slip. They like that over as well, 6.55, just under 51%. Jack Besh, 12.5 receiving yards. This could be sneaky, guys. I'm kind of liking Jack Besh receiving yards and Tyler Lockett because 1 catch from each of them could cash 2 plays there for you. Pat Bryant, 19.5 receiving yards. We'll see how that ends up working out because Troy Franklin's just been getting so heavily targeted. I think Pat Bryant is someone who has a lot of upside as well. It's just coming down to a usage thing because Peyton sometimes is kind of like keeping everybody guessing on who's going to get the love. Marvin Mims, though, I believe he's on IR. He's either on IR or he's out for this game. So yeah, someone's going to be getting a little bit extra love. Troy Franklin, they like the fantasy score on Underdog, 8.45, 50.68%. Yeah, we're getting just over the 50% mark with these lower plays. Pat Bryant, longest reception, 12.5. Tyler Lockett, his total receiving yards, 16.5. What were we looking at? Longest reception? Yeah, okay, that's why I was confused. So longest reception. Okay, I thought that was his total yards. I just didn't register it right in my brain. I think I would prefer the receiving yards at 16.5 over the longest reception. But I guess it's kind of the same because the argument is you could do it on 1 catch. Cortland Sutton, receiving yards, 57.5. They like him to hit that tonight, 50.5%. And then J.K. Dobbins, longest reception, 2.5 yards. So yeah, 1 catch for J.K. So yeah, Underdog has some decent options here that we're not getting on Prizepicks. As far as some of these just sort of random lines that are a little bit lower or options that Prizepicks just isn't given to us at all. So yeah, feeling pretty solid about what Underdog is offering for this particular slate. But that's going to cover everything, guys. I'm going to be getting back to NBA really soon here. I've been studying for a big exam I told you guys about, so I haven't had as much time, but I'm going to be real soon here. Probably I might do some more NBA either this weekend or definitely next week. I'll be trying to get right back to it. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit me up if you have any questions about plays, and have some fun using the tools and breaking it down with you guys in the comments. But yeah, enjoy the game, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.